All right, welcome back. It's been a little bit since we put out a video. I had to go do drifting things. I'm sorry, but you can see the Charger in the background here. You can see it's got a little bit of color on it, and we got a transmission. Let's see what's happening. All right, welcome back. I told you guys we were gonna start working on the actual car. We're gonna finally do that. So starting off with the gear, I'll show you a couple things. This is the rear end chunk that I had in this car initially. It is a Sure Grip and it is a 410 rear gear. Gonna be too much gear for what I'm gonna use this car for. I'm kind of building it for, not top speed, but highway cruising, faster speed. It's gonna be screaming with high RPM with that gear, so wrong choice. I just put this gear in it. It looks rusty and bad and all that, but I'll sort that out. But that is a 273, I believe. So definitely a lot longer gear, gonna be able to get better speed out of it, and should be really good. So I think that's gonna be cool. I also just got done putting this side of kind of the axle assembly together. Got a kit from Right Stuff. Hopefully, maybe gonna find something from Yellow Speed that works on this, but for now, just sticking something on here to make it work and go together and stop and go. But you can also see my 4-link kit in here from Ride Tech, which is pretty neat. They make a straight weld-in kit, they say it's a bolt-in kit, but I think probably most everybody that installs this thing is a weld-in. But yeah, so I'll show you now kind of how this thing goes together on the other side with the other axle. All right, we're back on the Charger 440, and I've made a decision. As cool as I think the patina is, the car's gonna get Chrysler Hemi Orange. It's what I have my heart set on to begin with, so this is the way. Here we go. All right, so I just sanded it down with my wire brush for welding, some sandpaper. I used a screwdriver to get some of the thick rust off. Just sprayed it down with rust converter and let it sit overnight like that. Come back, sand it one more time, and then prime it. So I told y'all I was gonna show you how the other axle went in. I lied, I already put that side in, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to measure for shocks and got quite a few other things going on. So this thing is making a little progress. Okay, so this is the pretty cool part, or one of the pretty cool parts about this thing. So obviously we've got our 440 here, motorhome 440, I think still. But anyway, we got our Milodon pan there, holds some more capacity. Got an American Powertrain bell housing and a sweet American Powertrain transmission. This is a Tremec TKO transmission. It's a 5-speed with, I think, like a 0.68 overdrive, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted a big overdrive so the thing can run at reasonably low RPM at sustained speed, because if you've been paying attention, the car needs to be able to drive at sustained speed. So I'm gonna set this thing up on a time lapse real quick, and I'm gonna put this transmission to that there bell housing and mate them up. Okay, I lied. Before I do that, I'm gonna explain a couple things. So you'll notice something weird, or that looks different than most of the things you'll see on this transmission, and that's this piece here. So this is something that American Powertrain provided with the kit, and it's basically something that replaces putting one of these right there for this throwout bearing to ride on. So basically what's going to happen, I'll scoot it back a little bit so you can see. Sorry for the shaky camera. This is the throwout bearing. This is what engages and disengages your clutch. So normally this bolt would replace that bolt right there in the transmission in the front of the bearing retainer. But ours doesn't have enough throw to reach the clutch forks. And so we have to put this spacer on here. So in turn, throwout bearing sits right here. It's gonna ride on this. That's gonna keep it from going up and down. And this piece right here, when you press the clutch pedal in, moves out, moves the clutch forks and or the clutch fingers, and makes it where the clutch disc will spin inside, and that will let you free rev or downshift or upshift or whatever you want to do. So we have to pull this off because it won't go in just sitting there like that. So we put it through right there, and now I will show you putting it in. But these couple little spacers here, that gets our perfect depth of basically almost no clearance between the throwout bearing and the clutch fingers. That way we can get a full shift without grinding gears. So here we go. All right, some of you probably saw me install this ring right here. That one's wrong. I can tell you it's wrong because if you try and slip it over the front of the transmission, it won't go. It should ride back here, so that's no good. This one, however, if I could get it to hold on, this one will go over it. So we're gonna use this one and go at it again. Good times. Okay, so you probably saw how easily this thing slid together. That's generally a good indication that your bell housing is aligned correctly on these dowel pins when your trans just slides in that easy. So the next thing you're looking for, you may have been asking, what's the next thing you look for, Taylor? I'll show you. All right, I'm using my handy flashlight. So you'll notice that there's not much space between the gold piece, which is the front of the throwout bearing, and the clutch fingers. You don't want much space, but you do want it to be able to move. I'll try this a different way because I'm like sending SOS signals here. Okay. So you can see a little bit. I'll try and stick my screwdriver in there. You can see that it will move ever so slightly. And it's not froze up. That's what you want. That's full engagement when you hit the pedal. All right, everybody, that is gonna do it for today's video. We got the motor and trans mated together. Got the clutch in there. I wish it was an ACT, but you know, this thing came as all one big kit from American Powertrain. So we're bolting it up the way that they intended it to. And yeah, pretty excited. This thing is finally starting to come to life. You can see the Comp Cam's Corvette there lurking in the background. I was hoping to put that thing to use at Clutch Kickers this weekend, but that event got postponed. So now I'm full bore on the Charger. That engine's about to come out and go up to Kazi, where Comp can come down and probably Fuel Tech come down and everybody come together and see if we can get a little bit more power out of this thing, and should be pretty cool. Thanks for watching. As always, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.